Welcome to Transforming Your Life Through Storytelling. The following is a wonderful story full of wisdom, reminding us that mindset truly matters and that even the most difficult of situations can have a positive side. Enjoy the story. There was once a king who ruled a powerful kingdom. The king used to spend a lot of time with his best friend, who had the habit of looking at every situation that occurred, be it positive or negative, with optimism. Whenever something happened, his friend would always say, "This is good, this happened for a reason." The king was always surprised by his friend's positive perspective on every situation that happened in his life. One day, the king and his friend went on a hunting expedition. They went into the dense forest just outside the borders of the kingdom. While hunting, the friend proceeded to load and prepare the guns for the king. When the king spotted an animal that he wanted to shoot, he took the gun from his friend and aimed it at the target. When the king was sure that his aim was right, he proceeded to fire the gun. But in that instant, the gun misfired, blowing off the king's thumb. His friend must have done something wrong when loading the gun, or at least that's the first thing that came to the king's mind. Both men were in shock as to what had happened, and immediately his friend performed first aid on his friend's wound. After he was done examining the king, the friend proceeded to say his usual, "You're okay, my friend, this is good. Everything happens for a good reason." The king was upset that he lost his thumb due to his friend's mistake, but even worse, he was upset of how his friend could say that something good could come out of him losing his thumb. And that was the last straw. The king finally had enough of his friend's nonsense and ordered the guards to put his friend into jail. A few months passed and the king decided to go hunting again. And he went into an area he knew he should have avoided, but the need for hunt got the best of him. Into the woods, he came across cannibals that took the king to their village. They tied his hands, collected some wood, set up a stake and a fire. And as they were about to throw the king into the fire, they noticed that the king was missing a thumb. Being superstitious, the cannibals would not eat anything that wasn't whole. So they proceeded to untie the king and send him on his way. On his return, the king remembered the incident that caused him to lose his thumb. He began to feel sad for the way he had treated his friend. So upon his return, he went immediately to the jail to apologize and to set his friend free. Once there, he requested his friend to forgive him and said, "Forgive me, my friend, you were right. It was a good thing that I lost my thumb that day on the hunt." And the king proceeded to share with his friend what had happened and how the cannibals had set him free because he was missing a thumb. And he continued to apologize. "I am sorry for sending you to jail that day that I got annoyed. It was a bad decision on my part. So please forgive me, my dear friend." "Nothing to forgive," said the friend. "That it was a good thing that you in fact sent me to jail. Can you see the positive side of your action?" The king was baffled at his friend's positive outlook and asked, "What do you mean? How can there be any good in me sending my best friend to jail for a couple of months?" The friend smiled and said, "Don't you see? If you had not sent me to jail, I would have been with you on your last hunt. And because I'm not missing a body part, the cannibals would have eaten me." Moral of the story: there's a good side to everything. We just need to see the entire context. We will get hit with situations that may seem bad, but later, in most cases, having gone through those things, they turn out good. In the case of the story, What the two men deemed bad in the moment was done for their protection. So when we look for the good side in everything, we will often find it. Perhaps not in the moment, but believing that there's a reason and or a purpose for everything is an attitude that will help you face adversity with resilience. Think perhaps of past situations where you felt unfortunate and how perhaps later those things turned out to be a blessing. It is always easier to connect the dots looking back. So my advice is that don't get discouraged when life throws you into challenging and perceived misfortunes. I have to say that believing that everything that happens to me has happened for a reason that I may not yet understand, but having the faith that it is happening for my protection has allowed me to not stay in the victim mentality. So the next time you get confronted with something difficult, try it, as difficult as it may seem. Say, I know life is putting me through this, but I also have faith that it is happening for my protection. Thank you for watching and supporting my channel by subscribing and sharing my stories. And I will see you on the next episode with more stories that will inspire, comfort you, and perhaps even change you. See you on the next episode.